Today is a day filled with rich and raw emotions as we celebrate the two of you and the next exciting chapter of your lives together. Today has been beautiful. To see your children surrounded by such wonderful people is a very fulfilling feeling as a parent. Lane, my first daughter to marry, holy cow, you look incredible.
Believe it or not, it has been 10 years since Lane and Jacob met, and they met in true small-town fashion at a high school prom. They dated that summer, and as the summer came to an end, Lane moved away to college, and they went their separate ways. We fast forward to May 13th, 2018, 4 years after they'd gone their separate ways, when Lane asked me to drive her to Brandon to Jacob's shop to pick up the Dodge. For those of you who don't know, the Dodge is that old black truck parked out there. It was our father's. I dropped her off at the shop that evening, and within a few minutes of standing there, it was obvious that my presence was no longer noticed. They were the only two people in that room. Now, what many of you don't know is from the time that Lane and Jacob met in high school, Jacob had wrote letters to Lane, and then Lane had wrote letters to Jacob. But before Lane left the shop that night, her and Jacob got to talking about the history of the truck. And Lane said, "Oh, I'll go get the registration." And as she went to reach for the glove compartment, a large envelope fell out. And on the front of the large envelope, it was stuffed full of letters, of all the letters that Jacob ever wrote to Lane, addressed to her. And she looked over at him, as the story goes, and said, "Do you ever think about what would have happened if it had worked out?"
A little side note, the week prior when Lane had dropped off all those parts, Lane was running a little bit late. She was actually about an hour late, to be exact, is what we hear. And you might ask yourself why. Well, it was a great book. She was reading a book. She's actually a lot like her dad in that way, I suppose. So Lane had gotten sidetracked reading a book. It was a little one I'd given her for Christmas. It's called Love You Wild, and it's a cute little poetry book I wanted to pass along. Just before she left that night, she apologizes to Jacob for being late and starts to describe, "I'm sorry I was late, I was reading this book," and telling him all about it. And then in true Jacob form, he just went out the next day and he bought that book. As the story goes, the last letter that Jacob wrote to Lane it was a letter, but it was a page out of this book. And I've got the book here. It goes, "From the moment I saw her, I knew this one was worth the heartbreak." Following the letters, Lane decided to write back to Jacob. And she returned that page, but she flipped it over. And her reply to him was, "I took her hand and my heart beat fast as her warmth swallowed me up. 1,000 times I had run this trail, but not with her. Her eyes were all that young love should be, and they lit me up in every look. We lay in shooting skies and freckled stars and promised our love would last forever. And so and forever it would. There in the castles atop of Blueberry Hill with the silver moon rivers and sailing ships." And at the bottom of that page, she wrote, "I think I like this ending better."
All I know is that I love you, and all I know is that's enough to keep living this life together. 'Cause honestly, everything is better with you.
I vow to provide for you and our future children. I promise to build a loving home filled with joy, laughter, and moments we will cherish forever."
My last name is one of my most prized possessions, the greatest gift my dad ever gave me. I'm a Fraser. In changing my last name, I am losing nothing, only gaining the great honor of taking yours. I am so proud to become your wife and build this life with you. I'm all in.
All I know is that I love you, and all I know is that's enough to keep living this life together. 'Cause honestly, everything's better with you.
As you take this new step in your relationship, I want to leave you with some advice. There will be more ups and downs. There will be more smiles than tears. Compromise doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you're willing to listen and to always have mutual respect for each other. There is no future in the past, just the lessons we take from it. So don't spend your time looking back. You're not headed that way. Support the things that make you who you are. You both have such unique interests. And as life changes in the years to come, it's easy to blend together and let go of those things that make you who you are. Keep them alive in yourself and encourage one another to do the same.
It is my honor and delight to declare you husband and wife. You may seal this declaration with a kiss.
You're both amazing individuals, but you're unstoppable as a couple.
May you continue to grow together, support each other, and always find strength in your love.
Jacob, continue to trust, honor, and respect Lane, and you'll have great success. Lane, continue to put up with Jacob. It should all work out in the end.
My little sister Lane, I respect you so much for pursuing your dreams and your passions, for living your life the way that you want to live it. I admire the incredible relationship that you have built with the man beside you and that you're going to continue to build. You are truly soulmates. I believe that this is what it looks like. I know we will never be back here again. You two are something else together. And I know that me and everyone else here feels that tonight.